How do you give people grace in they only have the tools and they only know the information that they have now currently, and teaching them to think in more in abundance mode? Or maybe that's not our job.
I think our job is to be leaders, and in order to be a leader, you kind of have to showcase the things that you say and portray that you want to do and actually achieve that stuff.
You have to lead by example.
At a certain point, there's only so much stuff that you can actually like verbally tell somebody before like actions take over.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 1% Better Everyday podcast. My name is Jasmine.
My name is Matthew.
And this is the #1 entrepreneurship podcast where we talk everything lifestyle, mindset, and business. And today we are actually filming, is this episode 36?
I have no idea.
I think it is episode 36. But we haven't filmed in a while, you guys. So we wanted to do an episode where we kind of took the time to reintroduce ourselves, our story, what got us here for anybody that's new that's listening.
A little self-reflection.
And do you want to go first? I'll let you take the floor.
I don't want to go first. This is your idea.
Okay. Well, I'm Jasmine. I am Latina. I'm Mexican-American. I was born in the United States. I was born in Ohio.
Oh, you doing all of that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People need to know who we are. We do a lot of episodes, but we don't really touch a lot how we got here. But I was going to college to be a doctor. Then I switched into social work. Long story short, my last year of college, I got laid off from my corporate 9-to-5, and I figured, I could go work for another company or I could start my own business. And I had seen how successful my dad was running restaurants, and then my boyfriend was creating his own video production company. And I figured, if they can be successful, then I can too. But the reason I wanted to bring it back to our story is because I think sometimes when we go on this journey of success, we forget how much we have overcome to get to where we are today.
I don't forget, but
And at least for me, I think we're so used to speaking in the language of abundance that, at least for me, because maybe I'm more of an empath and I am a woman, I'm more emotional. Sometimes I forget that.
Time out.
Sometimes I forget that a lot of people don't think in abundance mode. Go ahead. Are you a service-based entrepreneur that provides some kind of service, but you don't know how to create content in order to convert someone from following you into a paying client? I'm going to tell you exactly what to post in order to start generating more leads, attract high-paying clients, and get more DMs than you can possibly answer. I will help you how to find your niche, how to find your target audience, and craft offers that will attract top buyers every time you go to make a post. Text me content to 513-516-7332 to learn more on how you can get mentored by me for only $99 a month.
I seen a tweet today that said men are actually more emotional than women, because when we're mad, we're mad. When we're sad, we're sad. When we're happy, we're happy. When we're horny, we're horny. When women are emotional, they are sad because of this. It's not the actual emotion, sad, but the emotion is. Does that make sense? Like it was some. I wish I can explain it better, but it kind of made sense because it's like when women are sad, they not sad. If that makes sense. When women are happy, they're actually not happy. It's just a different. There's an underlying emotion.
We'll talk about that in a different episode.
Because I had to catch you real quick. Like, I don't believe that.
But tell them how you got here.
I'm not telling y'all no intro story, no beginning story.
How did you
I'm actually dropping a podcast episode that shows all my full story. I just know that I love it. First of all, it's December 2025.
Babe, if anybody new is listening to this episode, how did you become an entrepreneur?
Go watch my old episodes.
That's terrible advice. That's terrible advice.
No, it's not terrible advice.
Because we're marketers, and we always tell people that you have to tell your story.
Me and you do things two different ways.
Okay.
That's just
the way
this is
a real raw episode, you guys. This is just going to be a real raw episode, you guys, because these are the kind of discussions that we have on an everyday basis.
Did you see how you just cut me off immediately?
As entrepreneurs.
I'm up here trying to talk.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk. Did I interrupt you the whole entire time you talk? This is real life stuff.
Okay,
so anyway, if you want to know more information about me, just go watch past episodes. Go to my YouTube channel. You'll see all my videos. But more importantly, like Jazz was saying, she was talking about our past and where we came from and all the stuff that we had to do to get here. And again, this is December 2025, so this is the perfect time for self-reflection and making our calendars for next year and figuring out all the cool stuff that we want to do for next year. But I'll never forget, like you said, what was this, 2021, 2022, when we finally, like, it started clicking in our head, like, all right, this is what we want to do, like, for the rest of our lives. And in order to achieve that success, we have to do all these little small things to get here. So I think that's really important to, again, just self-reflect every single year at the end of the year. And we look back at all the amazing things that we've done.
Yeah. And I think what made me think of this topic too was that
Stop looking at
we were having a conversation a couple of days ago about how most people don't even know what their identity is.
Yeah.
They don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that for me because I feel like in the last 2 years I've done so much work to become this new elevated person, but there's so much more work that I could do. And it just made me think that, at least for me, I feel like you've always been, at least for me, I'm more emotional about things, and I feel like I've always overthought things, and you're more like, you kind of just do it. You don't really overthink things.
I know why.
Why?
For me, the reason why I think you're referring to me acting quickly. And I had to, because I was the oldest out of 5, and you was the oldest too. And I didn't have a lot of adult supervision when I was doing things as a child. I had to make quick decisions, and I never had anybody like second guessing my decision. Like if I wanted to do stuff, I just did it. I didn't, and I've been doing this since I was like the age of 9, 10, 11, 12, and now I'm 34. So I've been doing it for 20 plus years. So now it's second nature for me to make a decision quick because I've been doing it since I was an adolescent.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right, because I think we have talked about this before, how our childhood plays such a role into who we are today. And I think going back to that, I think that for a long time, like I even told you, was that when I was younger, yes, I had to make decisions for other people, but at the same time, because I had such strict parents and I was growing up in such a strict environment, it was kind of like I always had to get permission for things.
Yeah, see, I was the
And
total
so,
opposite.
yeah, and so even now, it's like I'm always constantly having to think about other people's feelings, which I don't think is always a bad thing, but I think sometimes when you're too emotional, it can definitely distract you. And so that's something that we've been talking about, is how can I get more focused? Because I feel like I do this little thing, and you probably have noticed it, where I'm like super consistent, I'm on my routine, and then something changes how I view things, and all of a sudden it's like
It clicks.
it's like I forget what the overall goal was. And I don't know if it has to do with imposter syndrome, where I feel like, am I dreaming too big? Am I too ambitious? Am I, are my aspirations too big? Because we're so used to thinking in abundance mode that sometimes when you tell other people your things, which I don't really tell anybody my things anymore, like you're the only person I tell, but sometimes even when you say things in abundance mode, other people look at you like you're crazy. And so that's something that I've had to learn, is how to keep my core identity and keep who I am, but at the same time, observe what other people are doing, but not absorb. And I feel like sometimes I do absorb, like ABSORB, like absorb.
Do you think that's because of your personality?
Other people's energy, because of my personality and because I'm so empathetic and I always want to understand people's point of view. And I feel like it's okay to understand people's point of view, but at the same time, I have to stick to who I am and my identity now that I'm trying to become, and realize, like you said, like sometimes you do have to use a little bit of logic and realize at the end of the day, some people just have excuses and some people don't want to get out of that. So going back to that abundance mode, like something that we always talk about is, how do you give people grace in they only have the tools and they only know the information that they have now currently, and teaching them to think in more in abundance mode? Or maybe that's not our job.
I think our job is to be leaders, and in order to be a leader, you kind of have to showcase the things that you say and portray that you want to do, and actually achieve that stuff.
You have to lead by example.
At a certain point, there's only so much stuff that you can actually like verbally tell somebody before like actions take over.
Matt, I need your help growing my social media audience.
All right, guys, if you need help growing your social media audience, make sure you text 602-390-7002. Once again, it's 602-390-7002.
No, that's so true because I've even noticed that, like, and that's something that we talked about even like a year ago or a couple months ago, where I can't convince you to do anything because at the end of the day, you're going to do whatever you want to do. And the same thing, like, you can't convince me to do anything because I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Like, for example, when I was trying to get you in the gym at the beginning, you never wanted to go to the gym. And it wasn't until you took it onto your own hands and went to the gym.
Do you know why that changed, though?
And now we're kind of opposites, where now you have more of a routine than I do.
Do you know why that changed? For me, and specifically talking about the gym, and this is also, it connects to everything that you do, me do, whoever, no matter the color, race, woman or man. When you go to a new point in your life where you need to actually be dedicating your time to something, like going to the gym, you have to have a why behind it. And if you don't have a why behind it, it's kind of like pointless. Because for me, going to the gym was pointless because I didn't have a why. It was why am I going to the gym? Like, it's cool, it looks cool, like my body be hurting and stuff like that. But why do I have a why? What's the purpose of me actually going? And if you don't have a why to that, then you're not really necessarily motivated or really in tune with what you need to accomplish.
That's so true. Because I've even noticed that, I've noticed certain periods in my life where I'm more disciplined or have more ambition behind my actions. And I feel like it's definitely a why that's fueling it. And so even now where we're at this new point in our life, I feel like, not to say that we got comfortable, but I feel like we're at a point where we're reaching our goals very seamlessly. Like, I don't want to say it's getting easier and easier, but we're just so focused and locked in that we're like, we can do anything. And so I don't want to let that make me comfortable. But then when you know you can do something, then why go harder?
Why
Like,
not
you
go
have
harder?
to go, you have to have a why. And at least for me, just something that I realized lately is that I know who I am. And I think like that's something that we were listening to a podcast recently, is that it's really hard to have goals when you don't even know who you are.
What was that, Tracy Ellis Ross?
It's really hard to have goals or have a why when you don't even know who you are. And sometimes you might fall off the plan, you might fall off track, but the important thing is to get back on it. And so for me, like, my why has always been being there for my family, being healthier for them, showing them through example. And I think you're so right what you said about like leading through example, because I realized that you can give your family so much advice, but at the end of the day, sometimes they won't listen until they see that you're actually already doing something.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're going to the gym, that, that motivates me to go to the gym, or whenever you're taking care of yourself, that motivates me to take care of myself. But you definitely have to have that why, because if not, you do get comfortable. And even with the gym, like,
Close proximity too.
yeah, even with the gym, like, I do want to talk about that because I know for me, like, I've been super consistent, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie and say that I have been 100% on my routine, because I just haven't. And so you have to find like what drives you in this next season, or what pushes you to keep showing up and keep going towards those goals.
Yeah. How do you think the year has been so far?
I think the year has been really, really good. I think I definitely got a little bit distracted, but I am back on my goals, and I'm just learning a lot from life.
Yeah, this has been the biggest year so far that we've ever had. Just being with family and the amount of things that we want to accomplish for our customers, being super consistent. And this is the year I've had the most free time. I thought about that the other day, and I was like, man, I've had a lot of free time. Like, I made a lot of money, and I had a lot of free time. It's kind of weird. Like, I'm like thinking back and reflecting, like, from the beginning of the year, just trying to figure out, like, where is this newfound freedom going to take me, to wrapping up the year with being able to consistently make sure my customers are straight, and also meeting new people and new relationships. Like, this past 90 days, I've met the most paying customers in the entire year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened. It just, and it also kind of like, I think, when did it, probably like March or April, it finally clicked. And then that's when I was just steam path locomotive, like
Yeah.
for the rest of the year.
I think at the end of the day, like entrepreneurship is so spiritual, and I had to see it. I had to watch a video to remind me of that, because even this year, I think I told you where it's like every year I've been learning and I've been getting better and I've been applying things, but I think this year, like a lot of things that I still haven't resolved within me, and just a lot of things that I still haven't mastered, kind of blew up in my face again. So it's just a reminder that there's always going to be ways that you can get better. There's always going to be ways that you can grow and room for improvement. But also you have to know when you keep repeating the same habits and when something's not working. Because I've definitely realized with a couple of things in my life lately, like even fitness, like, you know, I could change it up, or just other things in my diet where it's like, if you're not strategic, you're just going to be going nowhere. And I even told you that this year at the beginning of the year, you know, I was super focused on my business and I feel like I got distracted by focusing on the wrong things. And so I say this to say that sometimes like you need those periods or those seasons that just remind you, why are you on this path and journey? And I think at the beginning of the year, you asked me how the year was going. I've kind of felt in entrepreneurship where it was like, you know, what's the point of this? You know, because we're making money, you know, our bills are paid. And so that's why I said when you get to that point, like I think for you it's different because you're always like thinking long term, and you're always thinking like, oh, you got kids to feed. But I think for me it's almost like I am thinking of that long term, but I think sometimes I'm like, what's the point of overworking ourselves? And I started to get burned out, but it was just because I was distracted, I wasn't focused, and I got off the plan focusing on the wrong things. So I'm saying that to say that sometimes it feels like you're quote unquote missing out on things, but at the end of the day, I've just realized that when you're focusing on your family, when you're focusing on your goals, when you're focusing on becoming a better person, you are absolutely not missing out on anything. And this year was really the reminder for me to realize like it is okay to work on yourself, because I think sometimes the world or society can make you seem like, oh, you're so selfish by not helping others or not pouring back into others or not helping, you know, just other things. And at the end of the day, everybody's on their own path, everybody's on their own journey, and sometimes you do have to take those selfish, you know, seasons or those selfish periods of time where you need to work on yourself. And I feel like we've said that over and over again on every single episode, but that's truly what this podcast is about, is getting 1% better every day and realizing that we're all humans, we're not perfect. But at the same time, when you raise your standards, you're going to get those clients. So I think for you, like, you've been super consistent on what you said you were going to do this year. And because you were so focused on your goals, you've been attracting those clients that have been meeting your energy because you stood your ground.
Yeah.
And I think for me in business, sometimes going back to my personal life, this is how your personal life intertwines with your business life so much. Because sometimes in my personal life, like I said, I'm so empathetic, I don't have boundaries, that I feel like it overlaps into my business. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, how do I like know that they really need my help? Or, you know, I'm not even asking the right questions because of something that's going on in my personal life, if that makes sense, or something that I'm lacking in my personal life.
That's what I was going to ask you. What, in this year, because again, we're wrapping up the year, what has been the biggest thing you've learned about yourself this year?
The little things. I feel like I've always known that, and it's been a reminder for the past 3 years that the little things matter. But I think this year, the little things kind of exploded even more in my face. And what I mean by that is, like, at the beginning of the year, one of the things that I wanted to get better at is being early. And I mastered it. Like, I was getting early to things. But then I'm just going to be honest, I started getting around people that were okay with being late. So for me, that kind of triggered, well, other people are doing it, so it's okay for me to be late. And those are just like little things where I'm saying like those little things are big things. Because just because other people are late doesn't mean that you should take that trait as your own. keep your traits, because your traits will allow you to attract the people that you want to attract. And I think that I did get a little bit too comfortable, and I started getting, just around different people that obviously weren't as driven as us. And I've realized that even me being too nice or just being a people pleaser and like little things like that, I never want to hurt people's feelings. But that's where I learned from you so much. And I learned that sometimes you just need to say things how they are, because that's what separates people, the people that are doing it and the people that are not.
Yeah. I would say for me, the biggest thing that I've learned about myself, honestly, is just continuing to raise my standards. I feel like every time I raise my standards and stick to like my boundaries, like every time I just keep going up.
You keep leveling up.
And not only that, it's learning to be, every year I learn to be consistent at one thing that I wasn't the year prior. That also, I feel like that's been really helping me. So for people that are like kind of like stuck in their lives, just pick out one thing, just one tiny thing in your life that you really suck at, or something that you really want to learn, and just for 12 months, just work on that one thing and then watch your life change.
Yeah, that's so important. I think for me, like, you guys know that we came from another sales organization, and I feel like you kind of ran with it and you mastered it. And I think for me, it was kind of one of those things where I was kind of intimidated by sales. I knew I could do it, but I was, to be honest with you guys, like I was really avoiding it.
But you weren't really avoiding it because we had already been doing that since we was in Cincinnati. You've been, as soon as you started your company, you was in sales.
No, you're right.
So you didn't deviate from it. You just seen a different version of it.
I don't think I actually made, because I did study it a little bit. I just don't think I made the time to put it into practice.
Yeah, and I was putting it into practice like as
you
was
were.
Literally.
And that's another thing, like,
literally.
And I hate to say this, but I feel like at the beginning of the year, like I was so focused and I was doing everything that I needed to do. And that's why I was telling you, like, I feel like I'm kind of disappointed with myself, because at the end of the day, like, your biggest competition really is yourself. People don't realize that, because people are so focusing on other people, focusing on other things.
Shit.
Like, I'm just going to be transparent on this podcast. But remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, I want to meet new friends. I want to meet new people. And that's not a bad thing.
I'm pretty sure I laughed at you when you said that.
That's not a bad thing. I'm pretty
sure I laughed at you when you said that.
I just think that we're going to be super honest on this podcast, you guys. But I just think that the people that are listening to this podcast, you guys are probably listening to this podcast because you guys don't settle. You guys go after what you want. You guys are disciplined. You guys are ambitious. You guys know what you want, and you don't want to be working at a 9-to-5 and just be comfortable. And that's okay if you work at a 9-to-5, you want to be comfortable. But I'm just saying that people that want to listen, that are listening to this podcast, are probably listening because they want to become the best version of themselves.
Facts.
And
whatever you're doing.
And that's something that I was kind of like going back and forth at the beginning of the year, where I was so focused on my goals, but then I wanted to make time to meet new friends and new people. And I just realized over time that you are going to make friends when you keep focusing on the things that you need to get done and on your goals. Because me trying to do that distracted me. It got me off my plan. It made me meet people that weren't bad people. We just didn't think the same. And that's honestly what we wanted to talk about a little bit in this podcast, is that sometimes it doesn't mean that people are bad people. You just don't think the same. And so if we're going to a coffee date, if we're going to, somewhere, do we even think the same? Like, can we even relate to each other through certain things? And sometimes people just want to talk about other people or other things or other drama, and I just don't want to be in those conversations.
Yeah, we actually gonna table that conversation for the next episode. We're gonna talk about alignment for the next episode. So save that, because you got some flames about to come out the side of your head. we gonna save that for next episode. But let's go ahead and wrap this one up.
I know we haven't recorded in a long time, so we have a lot to say, but.
But even then, you guys are still like consistently. I watch the numbers on the episodes. You guys are still liking content. Guys are still watching it. So thank you.
And shout out to Rosa, because I know Rosa's probably listening to this, and I love you, girl. But even like on a phone call with her, I don't want to share too much, But she just made me realize you can be in the military and still be mediocre. People will do the average or people will do the bare minimum just to get by. No offense, but I'm disgusted by that. I'm like, do not bring that around me. I'm so disgusted by doing the bare minimum. By doing the bare minimum.
That's alignment. We're going to say that for the next episode. We're going to say that for next episode. We're going to talk about alignment for next episode.
I get disgusted with myself when I'm doing the bare minimum. I'm like, ew. But anyways.
Wrap it up. Come on, wrap it up.
What else? I mean, how was the year for you?
Let's wrap it up. Come on, wrap it up.
Okay. Well, that is it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know I was kind of yapping more than you, but that's us. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. What topics do you guys want to hear about next? What questions do you guys have? Are you guys an entrepreneur? Are you guys in school? What are your passions? Let us know down below because we want to get to know you guys. And don't forget to subscribe. We are going to be back consistently. And I think in the next episode, like you said, we are going to talk about alignment because that's been such a huge thing that we both have been learning. I think
especially this year.
More than you.
Nah, especially this year. I've been...
and going back to... Did you hear that?
That was me.
Oh.
All right, man. Peace. We see y'all later.
One more thing. Going back to that. Oh, wait. You lost my train of thought.
Yes, I know. Cool.
Oh, going back to that, I think I already covered it in the little personal section, but why is it so hard to stand on boundaries? I think sometimes we're so scared to ask for what we want because we think that we're going to be told no, not realizing that no could actually be the biggest blessing that you could receive in your life.
Rejection.
And we're just going to end it there. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about alignment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.